Steven, I think they're ready for us. You ready? So, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of We Got Next. We're on this show. The one that's coughing isn't actually the one that's about to do the unboxing of something that should make the person cough, but that's neither here nor there. There's a lot of things that are happening today. Although it's kind of like a dead period in sports, they kind of like to start calling it that. One, because there's no basketball tonight. Two, there's no football. And I was talking to somebody else. There's no football going on right now. Hockey isn't happening, which that's crazy how the Vegas Golden Knights end up beating them. Dusted they ass that game. And then you have it's just baseball. I was watching some WNBA yesterday, and like Brianna Stewart got rocked. Like she had a ring under her eye. Goodness. But that's not the reason why we're here today. As always, we have 3 to 4 segments. The first one's going to be the hot topic. The second segment's going to be, of course, talking about crypto and finance. Third is going to be the sports. And then fourth is typically the would you rather or some question that I have. So just starting off everything, and I texted this to Steven right before the show. Hot topic for today is Shannon Sharpe, and I'm going to call it the Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless. So Shannon Sharpe reached in a buyout with Fox Sports. So they're saying a little bit after the finals, he's going to be gone. What are your thoughts? What are your takes? And I'll give some of mine.
Was this something that was coming down the pipeline, or was this like breaking news?
I feel it was coming down the pipeline, just kind of how everything happened. Like when he would be at the games for the Lakers, you know how he had to make that like apology, and then how him and Skip were kind of going head to head a little bit.
Well, I can't wait to see who the next sucker they get to sit across from.
That's gonna be
from Skip. He'll probably. I mean, we'll still see Shannon Sharpe, right? Like he'll be. He'll
1,000%.
He
has his own podcast.
Yeah, Club Shay Shay.
Club Shay Shay. I know
that shit bothers me more than most things do in life. I hate that name. I mean, yeah, I'm sure that buyout is probably like 5 mil or something like that. You know, only in sports, right?
Only in
sports media.
You can be like, you know what, we're not really rocking no more.
But
let's
here's
just
5 mil.
Cut ties. Here's right. Word. I know my dad got that, but that was because like his company, they were going in a different direction, and he was like, "Nah, I'm not really feeling it." But also, my dad's like the general manager of like public radio up north, so it's very different. Yeah, so shout out. But like with this is essentially like you and I just not being cool, and our producer says, "All right, here's like,
all right, we're gonna go a different direction." Here's
different.
Here's $10, Steven. All right,
exactly.
Bet.
All right, enjoy it. You know it. Make do with what you got.
Yeah, we'll still. I'm just Shannon Sharpe can do whatever he wants. I just want to see who the next punk they get for sitting across from Skip. That's all I really care about. It's got to be some goon. Like, man, I don't even know who it's. I mean, who it's gonna be, obviously, but yeah, it's got to be some.
Going to be on Fox.
Some random ass dude, right? Has to be.
And there's so many thoughts I have on that. Like the first thing is, you got someone. They went back to back when they were on ESPN. That's kind of how they started realizing the whole Shannon Sharpe and Skip thing would work, and they brought him to Fox. And you can't just get anybody though. Like you can get someone random, but you have to get someone that's gonna like push back at Skip. So I think they might be looking at some people that have been on ESPN and probably taken someone from ESPN, because that's how the whole cycle works. Once you're in the system, you're good. Like the NFL Network people, they go to ESPN. Fox people, they'll go to ESPN. If you don't make it work at ESPN, you can go over to Turner Sports.
You think it's gonna be a black dude?
I feel that's the only way they can go.
Has to be, right?
That's how all the shows are. You don't have like, I mean, no offense to the black brothers out there, but whenever you see Dominique Foxworth and like Kendrick Perkins, or even like Kendrick Perkins and Marcus Spears, it's just there. Like Marcus Spears and Kendrick Perkins have a podcast that I've never thought to watch.
No, like, I didn't know that. I didn't know that until just now. So there you go.
Exactly. Like there's nothing on it. Yeah, there's. It's like called Two Beards and something. It's like a random show. But there's you almost have to have that two people coming from two different worlds so that it's opinionated. Because if you have whenever it's Kendrick Perkins and Stephen A, all right, it works because Stephen A is the most opinionated person that ESPN has. So, but if you had like Kendrick Perkins and Jay Harris isn't going to say that much. So I
You
feel
said
it's
Jay
with,
Harris?
yeah, Jay Harris.
That's a name. The white dude, right?
Yeah. Jay Harris is not white. Jay Harris is black and went to ODU.
There was a Jay Harris that was as a sports center anchor way back in the day. He was the guy who
Yes.
hosted a cold pizza with Skip Bayless and Woody Page.
Good job. Yeah.
Yeah, word. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it has to be someone that's not white.
Yeah.
Like,
but you can't go with like LaShawn McCoy. You can't go with who? It's not Chris Broussard.
Ooh, I got it. I know who they're gonna do it. Oh man, and there's no chance. Not that I watch it now, but there ain't no way I'd watch it if they did this. Acho, Emmanuel.
No, no,
Bro,
they can't do
could
that. They
you
can't
imagine? Could you imagine?
Because you know he's been trying to set up for it.
Bro,
but Skip would fry him alive.
But he is yeah, I don't think so. I think Acho is such a like
takes.
He has he like they're so good at like shitty takes that I think it would go well because Shannon just gets mad at him. And like
Shannon is serious, mad.
I've never I hate those shows now. I don't really watch those shows unless I see, unless they say some ignorant shit or like they were like really getting mad at each other. I think you see it on Twitter, like that's the only time I'll watch it if it's on Twitter and like everyone's talking about it. Other than that, I don't give two shits about. I mean, plus I mean I'm working during the day, so like I don't have time to watch anyways. So I don't watch those shows. So I don't really care. But in the sense of like what would be great for television, unfortunately, it would be Emmanuel Acho. And he's got his own. He's got his own. He's on that show with McCoy, right? What is it called?
Yeah, because you have Joy Taylor. I know. LaShawn McCoy.
Shady.
And
he's a dickhead.
Yeah.
He says some dumb shit too.
He does. And then you have Acho. You have another guy that's on there too. But I think like
Acho would it would really piss me off if it was him because I can't stand him. I think he's blocked me on Twitter too because I'd be saying some shit to him as well.
Acho, damn, you're a legend.
Yeah, Emmanuel Acho and Desmond Howard, both blocked me on Twitter. Yeah. Well, I also got kicked out of College Game Day for verbally abusing Desmond Howard for like 10 minutes. But that's a different story. I cannot believe this. But yeah, I think they're gonna get someone who can not be. I think they should get someone that's more like Stephen A than Shannon Sharp. Because that's I think people just like Shannon because he just yells at Skip Bayless. I don't even know what he says half the time. He's just yelling at him.
No.
So
I think they're gonna do some ignorant shit too. Come up on there with like a black or like make a drink on the show.
Mile. When was the last time you spoke to Black and Mild?
It's been a long time.
A long time, right? That shit hurts your lungs worse than like a regular cigar. But anyway, shout out to Black and Miles.
Shout out.
Ooh, good sponsor right there, maybe.
Oh, I know.
I'd be down for some free. They were free Black and Miles. I'd smoke them for sure. The wood tip wine. Ooh, that was a good one. Yeah, kick it old school. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm sure they'll fill that spot. Like if they haven't already, which I'd imagine that
they probably have people in the pipeline.
I'm guessing they're either in like the ending stages of filling that because the finals are going to be over in what, like 3 weeks, right? Give or take.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they either are in the like ending stages of filling that or like they have someone. They just are going to wait to announce it. I would imagine.
Easily.
But I'm sure that'll be leaked at some point soon.
Yeah. So before we get into the next topic, because I did promise, so I have to give a shout out to one of the homies, Airmons, for helping me out with this. Melly is the company as well. But because I tell everyone like I'm a part of D Gods and like the youth community, I go to all these different NFT events, they hook me up with something.
Oh boy.
So this is the first thing I'm gonna show you guys. It's just some of the packaging. This is more of their packaging. So, feels good.
Oh wow. Exactly. I'm down for that. Yeah, I'm down with that.
I know. So they had like various different ones, and I was trying to get people's ideas on which one I should end up getting. But I was like, no, you know what? I got to go with the Utes one. So it's an orange creamsicle. So that's one. I've seen like a bunch of people end up taking it. Of course, like this is one of the ones you can end up taking it anytime, night or day. So it's a Delta 9. That was something else that one. This is one of the first ones. Sorry, I should show you guys everything that's happening with
Yeah,
this.
there you go. Can you take it all
So,
out?
yeah, I think the bottom comes out slowly but surely.
Can you take like the actual object out? I just want to see it.
Oh yeah.
I'll bet.
So I don't want to get us kicked off the show, so I'm not going to start smoking it on the
Yeah.
show. You'll never see us
funny.
again.
Jesus.
I know. Where'd they go? They did some shit on the
I
show.
did some shit.
But so thank you to Airmons, aka
Shout out.
Sunny, and then Melidos. That's another one. So I'll put out another video, of course, but wanted to give the homies some cred while we have the show this week. So Ute, D Gods, Melidos, everybody for this one. But the artwork is nice. So I'll have to keep that one too. Going into some things that I wanted to talk about within like the finance world, there's been a lot of different things happening. The first one, so Stephen, you'll get a load of this. A big thing that's been happening right now is people have been having like meme coins. That was like a big thing that happened. Then after meme coins, it was they'll end up just putting online, here's my address, my wallet address, send me money. I'm not going to give you anything. So people are dumb enough that they think, oh, just because they say they're not going to give us anything, we're probably going to get something down the line. And I kid you not, this one wallet address, we've been able to track it, has over $1 million sent to it. And they said, send money to this address and you won't get anything. And they did it. So this other person, it was called like Pixel something. She created an artwork and she was saying, hey, donate to this because I have eye cancer. And so people felt bad. And she deactivated her Twitter. Like
Obviously.
she just
gone, bro.
And they said, yo, honestly, all she had to do was say thank you because she at least said she had cancer. You didn't have to like deactivate your Twitter. You could have just said thank you, and people would have been like, oh, wow. But you deactivated it, knows that you're lying. Why you need to deactivate it? Exactly.
Some sick shit.
That was the other thing.
That sounds like some shit I would have said to a girl back in the day to try and pick her up. Yo, you can ask my boys. I came up with some outrageous things to say to women back like in college. Whoa, dude. I was looking back on it. I said some ignorant shit that I should have apologized for at the time. But I didn't. Yeah.
That's exactly how it happens sometimes out there.
That's for a different rated podcast.
Yeah. Once we end up getting that X-rated YouTube.
Yeah.
But a couple of things I wanted to bring up. So the first one is, and I messed this shit up like so badly. It's called Ordinal Maxi Business, or Ordinal Maxi Biz for short. ZK Shark, who's one of the ghost of legends on the Bitcoin ordinals aspect of things, he was like super early, started talking about this in February. And I just kind of wondered what it was. I saw some of the homies get into it. And I saw when it was around 0.3, 0.4 Bitcoin. So for those of you that are like, how much is 0.3, 0.4 Bitcoin? Let's just do, for shits and giggles, Bitcoin's at 27,500. So 0.3 is 8,200. Currently, right now, Ordinal Maxi Business is at 1.79 Bitcoin. For anyone that doesn't know what 1.79 Bitcoin is, it's now worth $49,000, which means I missed out on $40,000 just by trying to wonder and question it. I had the money, like I had the $8,000 sitting there waiting. And I was like, hey, you know what? Let me just end up seeing more about it. Or, oh, it hasn't had that many buys in a couple of days. Yo, that shit ran. And I'm just like, damn. But on the other side of things, I did get into a couple. BitGod, that's a big major person. A lot of people know about it in like the Bitcoin ordinals, BRC20 aspect. He's the one that I mentioned that went from like 0 followers to 140,000 followers in 60 days. Wildest shit I've ever seen in my world. He had a token called OXBT. And so when it minted, it was essentially free. So some people end up minting like for $40 because you had to pay inscription fees. And it ended up going at one point. So let's say it went to a low of 2 cents. It went to a high of 30 cents. I was able to get in at 0.2 cents. I mean, at 2 cents. And it went up to 30. I was like, oh, my target price is 40 cents. I got too greedy, waited, so it pulled back to 16 cents right now where it's sitting. I'm not mad because I'm still up on that one. Oh, Josie Altidore. Wow, I didn't know he plays for Revolution. My man is old because I remember when he was on Team USA.
That's a name.
It is a name, but so it's at 16 cents right now. I loaded a good amount up. I did sell. I don't like saying this, but I did sell a D God to end up doing this. So I have probably at like $10,000 in OXBT. So I have a lot of belief in what it's going to do. We'll see how it goes. I have a Bitcoin frog as well. I have a beetle. So I'm really in on the whole Bitcoin ordinal side. A lot of people are talking about saying that this is like the newest thing, the big wave. I've been in a lot of the alpha groups, so we're going to see how this ends up going forward. So that's the first thing I wanted to bring up over there in terms of like the crypto and NFT aspect side of things. A couple of things for everyone to pay attention to, and I will start to talk about this more. A lot of people have been doing airdrop farming. If you can look into like airdrop farming, because that's an important thing where you can end up getting free money. Another thing is a token called MXRC. MXRC is going to be another Bitcoin BRC20 token that's going to be dropping soon. Another one is BTOC. So with BTOC, there's two different ways you can end up getting it early. There's one called Degilla, then the other one is the Ordinal War. So I'm looking into the Ordinal War because both of these were early inscriptions on Bitcoin. And with that happening, you will be able to essentially receive some of the tokens early. So I'm trying to do a deep dive to see how much I can get of it, or if it makes the most sense just getting that and just waiting for me to end up getting some. Last two things I want to bring up, and this has nothing to do with the crypto or NFT aspect of things. This is something that I'm going to ask Steven for his thoughts because I was reading up on this earlier today. So the first one is office buildings. So a lot of people have been hearing about office buildings, and the latest one is LA office towers. So on average, most of the different office towers, they accept loans, of course, like that, and their debt is $230 in debt per foot. The buildings now, they are trying to sell their portions for $154 per foot, aka they're underwater. They're selling for a loss. And that's essentially what they said. That's a loss. And then so LA's biggest landlord, the Canadian giant Brookfield, has defaulted on more than $1 billion of loans this year. This is only the start of it, because if they're defaulting on loans, that means other people are going to have to default on loans. So that's just one thing that I think a lot of people should pay attention to and look out for, because I don't think it's going to end there. I do think a lot more is going to end up happening because if they're doing it, it's just going to continue throughout this year. Other thing I wanted to mention is the debt ceiling. So they're kind of working on a plan for the debt ceiling for everyone out there that's hoping that we won't have to pay back our student loans. They keep kicking that can down the road because it's going to end up coming back at the rate it's going. As much as I don't like it, it seems like that's going to be the way that and direction it's going. The final thing I want to bring up, and this is the way I'm going to segue this into the sports topic and concept. I found a new strategy in terms of sports betting, and I love it so much because they always talk about half a unit, 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 unit, like spending that much. And my ass was like, oh, I got $100. We about to spend $10. And that's not how you're supposed to do it. Because when you do that, you run out of your money so fast. And mad props goes out to like FanDuel and MGM Virginia, MGM Maryland, because they were giving me all these damn bonuses. It would be like deposit $200, receive 100% deposit match. So I was like, all I need to do is just get $100 free, and I could start like doing something. So I had that on Virginia, had that in Maryland, and now I have essentially $200 on in my Virginia app. And then I did a bet tonight, so I should maybe have around like $30-$40 in the Maryland one. So what I do now is I only do $1 and $2 bets, and instead of like betting your $50, $60, it's slow to do it, but I've realized it's better. But also, I've received so many different free bets from MGM. Like today I got a $50 one. The other day I got a $20 one, then a $10 one. And those aren't really happening when I was blowing money like $10 here, $10 there. So, and I brought that up because when we were talking before about your friend, and that's just how it goes. Like if you can spend a good amount, then you can end up getting access to those things. So I'm just a little fish in a pond, but it's the same exact way. But if you're going to end up spending $10 and lose $10 that fast after you have 100, they know you probably just have a gambling issue or something. They're going to reward you if you're actually doing well on their app. So what are your thoughts on like the sports betting strategies or degenerate aspect of things?
So as a former degenerate gambler, I bet obviously on DraftKings, but I just do parlays and just hope for the best.
Yeah, I know.
That's really about it. That's kind of been my strategy. I just hope for the best. I don't take it. I took it very seriously for a hot second when I jumped back into the deep end pretty quickly. I threw down the, whatever it was, throw down $5 and get $100 or whatever the hell it was. So yeah, like your boy was in there. So I was deep, and I just kept, I would run out and just throw that 25 in, and then like it was just like a 2-month span during football season where I'm just like, cool. And then once basketball season started, that's more. So yeah, I hopped out of that mode, and like I'll throw down a parlay for game one, some stupid parlay. Like I do like the plus 2,500 or greater odds in terms of the parlays. So do I win ever? No, but I did like. So do you want to talk about the game I went to now, or do you want to wait?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we're in the sports.
Good segue. So I went to the Orioles game last Friday. Orioles Rangers.
Yeah, good game.
Yeah, good game for the Rangers. And my buddy, who shall remain nameless, he Christian's met him. He's a degenerate gambler to the max, and he has like he's got a strategy, and his strategy is so deep. It's just like I can't even. I had the boys over for March Madness this year, and that's where you met David. David comes over, and I mean, I think I had like 12 people there at that time, and I would say all of them to some levels are gamblers. Now there was like people like you and me betting the small stuff, and like if we win the big stuff, that shit's gone in like a day, right?
Hell yeah, I know.
If we get a $50 return, we're betting $50 on the next thing that pops up on the list. So there's that. And then there's levels to the shit. Like there's levels. And everyone knows if you're a gambler, you know the levels. You know where you can go, and like maybe where you've been. We've all been there, but like where you're at, and where you like what your level is. Me as a dad, as a father too, and now trying to put kids build up for college and like married and everything. I'm here. Like I'm here. Like I'm probably staying right here. Like, I'm not going up here anymore. I'm staying right here. So my buddy, nameless, he's full blown. He's in there, and he's betting like 1,200, $2,000, but it's because he has it to blow.
Exactly.
He has it to blow, and like I'm not gonna say he doesn't lose, but he does. But like it's not often that he loses, and I'm usually pretty shocked that he does lose, which is weird because like you shouldn't be, because it's gambling. It's it's winning or losing, so you can't be surprised if you lose. But I usually am, because he's so like meticulous. It's calculated. It's incredible to watch. Like when I've been over at his house like 12:30 on Sunday when the games are kicking off in half an hour. He is locked in to his laptop, like finding like the last minute things, trends, what the public says, everything. And he's in there, and he's dropping dimes all day. And he's constantly on his phone, constantly, bro. It's you would think he's running a business. Like you would think he's the bookie, but like he's just throwing down on all these bets. So anyway, I say all that to lead up to my buddy got free suites to the BetMGM suite at the O's game, because he does that much gambling and does like that much business essentially for BetMGM. Now he bets through everything on all the apps, but that's one of his big ones. And they obviously are like, oh, we'll hook it up. So his boy Brandon from BetMGM, I can name him because no one knows who that is. So we go and we get 4 tickets. Dope. Like we're in there. And we're just throwing down the whole game, like in-game betting on like pitches. Is it going to be a strike? Is it going to be a base hit? Like leadoff batter going to hit a double? Like all game. And I took the biggest thing I did was I took the over in the run total. And the Rangers hit a grand slam in like the fourth inning, which got me over the over. So that was pretty dope.
Yeah.
Food was dope. Oh man, like you know how it goes in Sweets. Like food was top notch. It was free drinks, but your boy's clean, so not doing that. But gotta put that plug in there, dude. Every chance
every time.
Your boy's 5 months in. So
that's big.
But yeah, it was dope. And then funny thing is, this is a kind of a side story to like the reason why we went, because he's a degenerate gambler. But apparently they do this thing, and I have a friend who went to an O's game like a month ago or around then, and she sent us an autographed picture of someone that we didn't know. Mm-hmm. So they do this thing where like they just basically, it seems like they just pick a random former O's player name out of a hat, and they call him up, and at least this is how I think that they do it in my head. They call him up and they have him come to the game with like a stack of trading cards or whatever, and with a Sharpie, and just go through every suite and just sign autographs and take pics. And so it's the second inning. And have you been a box at the O's stadium?
Yeah, I've done a tour, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right. So like you walk in, it's like a standard box. You walk in and you use like there's like a glass door in these ones. It's weird, super old. But like there's a glass door and you walk outside. So we're all standing by the door to walk out to like the seats outside. And like this old dude comes in, and there's only I think 8 of us in the box. So like everyone that's like supposed to be there is there. So there's 4 of us, and this dude walks in, this old dude walks in, probably in his like 70s. And there's a guy behind him that, like athletes have a certain look about them. Mm-hmm. Like former athletes, like this, they're still built different, like literally, like quite literally built different. So this dude walks in, and this is like, think of like me and Jay Hill doing this at Penn State games, walking into suites and me saying this. Like the old dude walks in, he's like, "Hey, I have Larry Sheets here. Who wants an autograph?" Or he's like, "I have Larry Sheets here, the great Larry Sheets." And Larry Sheets busts out like a stack of playing cards and a Sharpie. He's like, "Who wants an autograph?" And we're looking at each other like, what? Like he busts in like he's Santa Claus, like acting like we know who. I don't know who Larry Sheets is. I mean, like he played from 83 to 90 to 91 or 93 with the O's. 94 home runs in his career, batted like 255, 260, really? Some shit like that. So like, saying like the great Larry Sheets, that's a bit of a stretch. So he comes up and he signs all these pictures for us, or signs these autographs for us. Like Mason has his hanging up in his room, and he's like, "You guys want to take a picture?" We're like, "I guess, Larry." Like, sure, man. So that was a little like random. That was probably one of the more random things that's ever happened to me at a sporting event. Just a random ass player walking into the box and like, "Hey, who wants an autograph?" So there's that. But back to the reason why we were there. Yes, there's levels to the gambling shit. I don't do that much. Like that was the most gambling like in one sitting that I've done in like years, like decades. Mm-hmm. Because I'll bet like on one game, I'll just kind of stick with that game. But shout out to people who are degenerate gamblers, and it's not like, and it doesn't ruin their life, because obviously we know people who gambling ruins quite literally everything they have. So which I've been there. Like I think we've all been to that stage of the degenerate nature with it. So yeah, that's why I don't do it anymore. Like I'll do in the fantasy leagues. I'll do a couple games here and there, but like no, I can't get. You can, but I can't.
So here's my thing, because oh damn, did they win? Wow. So Atlanta United was down 1-0 with 45 seconds to start the game. Then the Revolution scored 2 goals. So they're up 2-0. Atlanta had just scored 3 straight goals, and then essentially they're in the 86th minute, so they're going to probably win. But the time I met him, he was just on the couch, and I was just like, the way he analyzes it, because 2 or 3 of the homies and we all bet on the other team. I forget whoever Tennessee played in the tournament. I had bet on the other team, but the way he did it, he analyzed all of it. Like everything. He wasn't really stressing until maybe the end for like a smidge of a second.
Real quick. Breaking news. Zach Edey, Purdue center, returning for another season at Purdue. Good. Coming back, which I didn't see that coming. He just tweeted out running back. So the
way they lost, they
player of the year
need to come back.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
The way they lost.
Shout out to Purdue.
But
Anyway,
shout
yeah,
out.
keep going.
So yeah, that was something, just the way he analyzed it and the sharps and just knowing the way people are gonna end up betting with all this. I'm like, there's no way. Like, how do you end up knowing all this information? So that was that. And then just talking about basketball, I kind of want to use that segue to go into the professionals of it all. And I want your thoughts on the game that happened between the Celtics and the Heat. But then I also want to know your initial thoughts on the series and how do you think the outcome is going to go?
Well, that was the most disappointing game 7 I think I've ever watched in my life.
Mm.
The way game 4, 5, and 6 went, like I it was the opposite of what I texted you I wanted to see, which was a close game, 1 point game. Tatum and Butler dropped 45. That would be like the ideal, perfect world for an NBA fan. But this was Tatum rolling his ankle on the first play of the game. I mean,
that
that
messed
was
me
it.
up.
That was it. Because he was definitely not himself. I mean, he still played basically the entire game or his standard minutes,
Yeah.
but he just wasn't. You could tell he wasn't. And it looked like Al Horford, Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown all missed the bus to the game. No one showed up.
Really?
Um, I don't want Miami to win. I don't know. Like I just don't like them that much. Um, I feel like they think they're better than they are. Now they're in the conference. They're in the NBA finals, but I just don't like them. I don't like Denver either. So if I had to choose someone, I'm picking Denver, obviously, because I don't think the Heat have anyone that can do what Jokic does. I
Hell
don't think.
no.
I don't think of anyone that can guard
Absolutely
Jokic.
not.
I saw someone, by the way, I saw someone tweet out. I don't know who this was. I think it was just some random person, but it got traction. That they would take Bam Adebayo right now over AD. Now I get it because AD is hurt, pretty consistently, but no, I'm not taking Bam Adebayo over Anthony Davis at all. Right? Like, no, I get it. Bam's young. He's like 26, 27, probably. He's a handful of years younger than AD. Actually, he's probably younger than that. He's probably like 24. And he can snag the boards, whatever, and get the points. But like, no, like when they're on both
25.
25, yeah. So an AD is probably 31 ish, give or take, right?
Yeah, he's up there.
Yeah, actually, he might be young. He might be 30. He's not our age because he came out 2012.
30.
He's 30. All right, so
Yeah.
still in his prime, as they say. But like if they're both on, I'm taking 80. But regardless, I'm taking Denver. I'm taking Denver in 5. Hashtag Lakers in 7. But I'm taking Denver in 5 because knowing on the Heat, I think can guard Jokic, and I trust. Now, this is the other thing that I said during the Lakers Nuggets series. I said that also, AD and LeBron would be better than Jokic and Murray. But I also said that the Nuggets' other guys, Bruce Brown, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, yada, 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 they would be better than the Lakers guys. I think the same thing is going to be true, but I think that's going to be closer than Lakers Nuggets was. Because the other guys for Miami are really, really playing well, especially Caleb Martin. Caleb Martin, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he's playing well. Struce. Shout out to Udonis Haslem for
my man just chilling in
my guy
doesn't have
like,
to do anything.
He's so hyped. So hyped. And he has not touched the floor outside of warm-ups. Now, like, I mean, he doesn't have to because like he's been in the league for a minute. So like he doesn't need anything. He's just chilling, collecting the check. Like only in sports can you do literally nothing for your job. Literally nothing. The entire season.
No.
The entire year. You do nothing, bro. Nothing in the play. Like when it matters most. Like that'd be like my boss asking me to like, hey dude, there's two days left in the month. We need you to get like, $100 sales. And just me just not doing anything and thinking like, yeah, I'm I did good last month. Like, so I'm good. Like, I'm just gonna chill. No, Udonis Haslem does shit, collecting a check on the end of the bench in the warm-ups. He's his warm-ups on the entire time. Hood up.
He keeps the hoodie on.
He keeps the hood up all the time. And he's chilling like with the trophy afterwards, like he's Kobe, like in like that Kobe pick. Second of all, I would never fuck with Udonis Haslem. He's someone I probably wouldn't want to beef with. But anyway, I'm saying that because he's obviously never going to see this. But anyway, like my man's just chilling. Only in sports can you get away with that, right? Only in sports. I got Denver in 5.
I have Denver in 6, and I think it's gonna be less than that. When Denver was playing LA, actually, when Denver was playing Phoenix, I was like, all right, this Denver team is something else. What the hell? I thought the game was over. Damn. Although nobody cares about this. The New England Revolution actually scored, so now it's 3-3. I legit watched every single goal of this whole game, and I understand why people watch European soccer, football, way more than they watch American soccer, because this shit has been something else to watch. But the only team I bet on consistently throughout the whole year was Denver. I would bet on Aaron Gordon points, rebounds, bet on Michael Porter Jr. points, rebounds, Jokic triple-double, Jamal Murray over 18 points. Would do it all the time. Their team, and I was talking to, so we have a bus driver for my company because we have like 4 different buildings on our campus, and like I'll just be on the bus, and we're just like, you have not seen a team like this in so long that from point guard to center is complete. But you have a couple of players that can like put the team on their back. Bro, any of those players can go off for like 25 points if they want to. KCP can give you a couple of threes. Not Aaron Gordon, just go up. No, Aaron Gordon will give you a double-double.
Yeah, like 10 and
Aaron
10.
Gordon might give you like 15 and 10 if he's on a good day.
Yeah.
But like Michael Porter Jr., my man can hit 8 threes if he wants to, because that's all he'll do. Jokic, we know that's happening.
Do you remember Jamal when Jokic Murray knocked out or ran into the back of Markieff Morris or Marcus Morris?
Bro,
that was this season.
Oh my god! Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I saw.
And then he always got his brothers too. So you're gonna have to find them. So
no, dude, I'm not gonna fuck with 3 7-foot Serbian dudes. Are you kidding me? Ain't no way.
Absolutely not.
Nope.
So I think it's gonna be. I don't know why. Like I have this bet of the Heat are gonna get 2 somehow. I know the Heat are at least getting 1. In South Beach, they're probably gonna get 1 because they'll be back in their climate. I know Jimmy's going to have to go off for 1, but this is when it comes down to who are you taking, Adebayo or Jokic? I'm taking Jokic, even if he's only 20%.
All day, dude.
All day. Then when you go with the point guards, I'm going with Murray. I'm not trusting Strus or Kyle Lowry. I'm trusting Murray. Shooting guards, it doesn't matter. I mean, that's going with Jimmy Buckets the whole day. But on the other side, they have the length on Denver to stop Jimmy Butler. And Caleb Martin, because you can put Michael Porter Jr. and you can put Aaron Gordon on those 2 if you want to. KCP has a championship pedigree as well. So just all around. And we didn't even talk about the bench because Bruce Brown can give you 20 if he wants to.
Yeah.
And then you got Jeff Green that's going to come off. And if you got to dust the cobwebs off, he could do something too. So
then
they have that one rookie that's over there. I don't know. It just seems as though straight top to bottom, they just have too many players that are there. Whereas Miami, they already know it has to go. If Martin's not having a good game, Jimmy has to have a good game. Adebayo's not getting
it has to go. It has to go Jimmy Butler. Like
it easily
has to go through Jimmy Butler, right? Like, because there's no one else on that team that you can like. Who's like? I mean, I guess Caleb Martin would be their second option. Which, like, if that's your second option in the NBA Finals, you ain't gonna win.
No, but he's gonna get a dumb contract this summer.
Yes, yeah.
I already know he's gonna get it. Him and Austin Reeves are going to get some nice contracts.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Back. So those are my thoughts over there. I want to swing it really quick into just talking about the hockey. And I don't even want to talk about the aspect of hockey itself. I want to talk about the fact that Canadians have to be so pissed off that the game is going to be the Las Vegas Golden Knights against the Florida Panthers.
Ratings are going to plummet for this one. That's just not good.
The 2 warmest places possible.
Yeah.
Are where the games are going to be.
Yeah. No.
One team doesn't really have a set fan base because it's whoever is in Vegas that day of the month. And then you have the Florida Panthers.
Yeah.
So, and they showed the schedule, the Panthers and the Heat, because they're right down they're not that far from each other. Mm-hmm. They're kind of essentially as far as the state going from Maryland to like Northern Virginia. It's not really far where they are. So they're going to have games almost every other night.
It's every other night is when it's, and I think the NBA starts tomorrow. Hockey starts Friday, I think.
Yeah.
So it's like it's every night for the next 2.5 weeks, which as a sports fan, which is
if they both make it that far.
Sure. If both go 7 games,
and they're both in
like
2.5
weeks. So that's pretty dope. So that's as a sports fan, that's cool. So I can appreciate that. When I saw that come out, that was pretty dope.
Yeah. Now I could see the Panthers winning. I can't see the Heat winning. The Panthers have been like steamrolling through half of these teams in hockey, and it started with the Bruins. So that's the other crazy part, that both the Florida teams beat both the Boston teams. And they were talking about that. Who's been taking the bigger L in terms of like the teams up there? Is it Boston Bruins or Boston Celtics? I just wanted to talk about that really quick, just for all the hockey people that end up listening to this. The last thing I want to bring up is D-Hop. So he got released. Where do you think he's going? Because right now they're saying it's an arms race between the Bills and the Chiefs. They always say this shit, and some random ass team comes out of nowhere and they're like, well, this team has been talking to him for such and such amount of time.
Oh man, that's tough. It's probably gonna be it's gonna be some random ass team like the Falcons or some shit like that, or like the Dolphins. I mean, either one of those teams, if the Chiefs got him, I mean,
it's not
like,
fair.
come on, like
it's not.
I mean, if either team gets him, it's gonna be massive, obviously. But if the Chiefs get him with what they have already, yeah, I pencil them into the Super Bowl. If the Bills get him, you can pencil them in to go pretty far. But yeah, it's gonna be some random ass team like the Lions. Some teams are gonna shell out a shit ton of money. He's pretty young too, right?
30.
Is he really?
30, 31, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he still has some of the best hands in the league, and he still had 2 more years left on his contract. Yeah. So
they paid him that money.
I was gonna say,
and then they just took a L on like the cap because it saved him a couple of dollars.
Only in
sports.
Only in sports. You know what? We're gonna trade you from this company, and we're gonna let you go. But before you go, here's 2 years salary.
Yeah, just take.
Come on, man. Come on.
You'll give me that.
Jesus, that's crazy.
So, if he goes to the Chiefs, this is almost the equivalent of like Chris Paul when they denied that trade to the Lakers. It really shouldn't happen, but the only commissioner that'll ever deny some shit would be David Stern. So, like if D-Hop goes to the Chiefs, do you know how great that they would be?
It's almost like you can't allow that to happen,
No, you have to and they're saying the reason why no trade happened was because of Odell Beckham, because they paid Odell Beckham like 15 mil. So of course, D-Hop wants that type of money. And this is where the strategy comes in. And I realized if you're nice to your employer, they'll treat you nice too, because he played the cards right. People were thinking, oh, he's staying in Arizona, made the video saying like, yo, what do y'all talk about? I'm here at practice. Like, I'm going to be here. I'm a Cardinal. Whole time behind the scenes, they were like, I'm gone. And they were just trying to work out something. And what sucks is the snitches of the world, like Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter, and all of them, they knew what was happening. I guess they just are saying like, yo, we can't tell the media this. Like, don't say anything yet. We have to make it a surprise. But they knew it was going to happen.
They're like criminal informants.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
But they get paid a shit ton of money.
Hell yeah, to snitch. Like, that's amazing. You get paid so much money to snitch, only in sports. Because if I do that at my job, they're not paying me because I snitched. They're just going to be like, fired. All right, you must get fired.
My man's gone, like instantly. Instant firing. Done.
Exactly.
Yo, you see, like Linda's not doing her job. Oh, Christian, gone.
Gone.
Oh, Linda, you're okay. You can stay.
You're good. You know it.
Also, we all work with Linda. We all know Linda at work.
Yes,
do their job.
Exactly. So the last thing I want to bring up, and this is just going into kind of like the what you got. Did you hear about LSU's helmets?
I did. I just saw the video a little bit ago. The air conditioned helmets.
Yeah,
bro. I was talking about this actually not too long ago with someone about the conditions of helmets we used to have back in the day. Now, each generation, obviously, we weren't playing with leather helmets, right? Like,
those concussions were mean that they probably had.
Can you imagine playing with fucking leather helmets and getting absolutely rocked? I'm sure their tackling was spot on. I'm sure they had the best form tackling you've ever seen in your life. But then you were playing with helmets that were like, the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And they were like those basically like almost like those plastic helmets that we get for like Halloween costumes.
That's what it is.
And then like Rydell and like Revolution. When Revolution helmets came around, that was like when we were coming up, that was like our middle school, kind of like in high school. And I think most high schools probably had Revolutions if you could afford it
Hmm.
in high school. So like, but like I remember those helmets, the Revolution helmets had like the individual like air pockets in them. If you left them during the wintertime, if you left that shit off for too long, that shit would freeze. And trying to put that thing back on, because they like it would be snug. Trying to put that thing back on was like putting like bricks on your
Yeah,
head.
it was not
Um,
easy.
but I mean, concussions and also concussions back in the day were the thing when we were in high school. It'd be like, how many fingers am I holding up? You'd be like two. Go
Low
ahead, you're
key,
good.
yeah.
It was
I
like
was
that's how it was.
probably
But now it's
junior
like,
year when I first heard about a concussion.
and it was they were like, oh, it's just like they get you seen stars, you got your bell rung, but
Hmm.
like how many fingers am I holding up? Two. All right, cool, back in the game. But now it's those helmets probably weigh a ton too. Helmets are
Yes.
they're crazy now. And certain teams have like certain um I think contracts, or they used to at least. I know Penn
Hmm.
State's always like, being a Nike school and being one of the top Nike schools and doing a lot of those concussion things, they get like a lot of other top teams do. They get not first dibs, but when those test things come out, they get because if you've ever when they Penn State practices, they have the shells that go over their helmet, which a lot of teams do. They have like it's like a padding that goes over top of their helmet.
Hmm.
I don't think they ever do that in the game, which is like wild to like that's like you wear that shit during practice when you're not hitting, right?
Yeah.
But like you're not wearing that shit in the game when like you're actually getting like crushed, which is like that
Oh,
doesn't
no,
make any
that's
very
no, it
counterproductive. But anyway,
doesn't.
concussions are but yeah, those I would love to have that. I love to feel like is there just like a button like they press and like it just turns on and like there's some AC in there. I mean, I know it gets hot down there, but it should probably cost a shit ton of money too, right?
Hmm. Oh, easily. That's why they got it.
What if
Like
that shit like
everyone's
what if it's like what if that shit overheats or like it should catch
dog.
on
What's gonna
fire or like
happen?
it
Exactly.
blows up. Like you imagine that shit blows up in someone's helmet. It's gonna happen. Like there's so many of them.
Yes.
It's like with like cartridges with like vapes and everything. That shit explodes
Hmm.
like just out of nowhere. How's that possible? Like how's that possible? It's gonna
I
happen.
know.
If there's like gonna be if that's gonna be a trend that teams are getting helmets with AC in them. I don't even know how that works technically or scientifically or whatever. But like well that shit explodes and like Jimmy Lipper's head blows off.
Are you able to sue? Like, what all is gonna
Yeah,
happen?
yeah. That's a attempted murder.
Yeah, that's exactly what that is.
Shit, these kids don't know the struggle that we had back in the day.
No.
Just getting our fucking bell rung. And then we had like there was a I think it was Rydell, and they just had like the blue, like cage looking thing that you just like put in the helmet. It was like a
Hmm.
it's like a looked like just like a blue like I don't know what it was called. I gotta find a picture of this shit.
Dog.
Um, what else is there?
So that's everything. The last part is what you got. So I could start while you're looking for that.
Yeah,
The two things that I want to mention, pay attention this week. I've been hearing a lot of different conversations and talks about it, but Ocean Explorers is another idle play game that's coming out on Solana. For anyone out there that is interested in figuring out what is the next step if I didn't get into the heist, what's something else I can end up getting into. And the other thing is it's crazy how dead the season comes when there's no NFL. So I'm really excited. I think because all that I'm doing this year when it comes to the NFL, and tickets and stuff and then sports betting, I look forward to like August so much. And then what's wild is I was talking to someone, and Steven, you'll get a kick out of this. And they were saying, you do all this like season tickets for the NFL. Why haven't you ever thought about it for college? And 2 seconds in my head was like, you know what? That's smart. Then I said, you know what? I gotta fight with all this goddamn alumni at the big ass schools. So how am I ever gonna get tickets?
nope,
Because I'm
never,
like, Alabama, no, not happening.
nope,
Clemson,
never.
no, not happening. I'm on a wait list until like the grandkids end up being born.
Yeah,
So like that's
no,
not happening.
ain't gonna happen.
Penn State, no, that's not happening. Ohio State, forget about it. Michigan, you can go listen to it out in the parking lot. So might as well stick with this. But that's all I have for today. What do you have?
Let me share my screen real quick. I see some of these helmets that we used to wear back in the day. Look at this
Oh
shit.
god.
Like this, like where's Like we used to
I
rock.
know the top. Yeah, they
We used
were
to rock.
not.
No, those were pretty new. Like these dudes used to wear this shit back in the day. Can you like imagine wearing that
There's
and
no
just
way.
getting your shit just blown up
That's not
constantly?
even a helmet.
I mean, those half those guys are probably dead anyways.
Oh
Um,
my god! Like that's not a helmet,
oh, this, yeah. So like these, I don't know what that.
bro. We used to have
So this
those.
stuff, like these pads in here, would get so cold and so
Hmm.
hard when it would be in like the wintertime. And that's what I was saying. Trying to put that on your head was like a brick.
Dog.
But these
And
kids
when
have,
it's hot, it is sweaty up in there.
yeah, yeah. Like these helmets back in the day were just like this is what they would wear back in the day, bro. This is not gonna protect you from shit.
No, it's
Like
not.
this
And that's
was
what they
another
would do.
one. Like what is that? What is that, dude? You're just asking these guys to just have brain damage. I mean, I get it. Technology back in the 60s and 70s was,
It's not good.
horseshit, but um, what do I got? Shout out to youth sports, man.
Shout out.
Um, we are finishing up baseball. Next Tuesday is Mason's last game.
You made
Um,
it through a season.
we did. So yeah, your boy was coaching, which I talked about that before.
Hmm.
Um, I'll have my final thoughts on coaching when the season's over. But I pitch every game too. So your
Mm.
boy's arm is it's a little sore in the elbow area. I'm throwing
Hmm.
3 innings a game. We have 2 games a week, man. Your boy's arm is it's hurting, man. It's hurting.
Two games
Might
a
need some
week.
Tommy John after the season's over.
Wow.
But yeah, so shout out to you sports. We're done with baseball.
Shout out.
Mason's done with sports until the fall, I think,
Hmm.
until he does soccer again. But Mia, she's done with or switching gymnastics days. Now she's got swimming. She finished soccer. Now she's got swimming for the entire summer, which, by the way, is her day. It's like 5:45 to 6:45, and meets on Saturdays, which is like an all day thing. So it never ends.
Them meets are
Like
insane.
I was talking to a buddy who has 2 kids that are older than mine, and I was like, every age, as you know, every age you can add more and more sports. Like you got to be going into this grade for this or whatever. So
Hmm.
Mason's at that point now with him being 4, and then next year will be 5. So and Mia's in a ton of sports, obviously. Then I was like, oh, it'd be great. Like they get older, more sports, and they pick a couple sports up and they drop a couple sports. And he's like, no, they don't drop them. You keep going with them
They just add
until
more.
they just
Yeah.
fucking until they just the wheels fall off on that sport, and like you got to be finished with it. So shout out to you sports,
Shout
because it
out.
keeps kids going, but it's also exhausting. Like we don't like we also like don't eat dinner as a family anymore because like we're just
No,
always out of the house.
I know.
Like we get home, like Brooke picked up Mia today at 5 to go to gymnastics at 5:15 until 6:15. They get home at like 6:40, 6:45. We got like eat dinner and like start bedtime and all that kind of good stuff. It's just like and tomorrow baseball 6 to 7:30. We have like and we got to eat dinner at some point afterwards or like before.
Hmm.
So it's just chaos, but like kids enjoy it, so that's all that matters. But
Dog,
shout out to you
see,
sports.
shout out.
Shout out.
Honestly, I guess my shout out goes out to the Springer family because a lot of so 3 of my friends either just had a kid or are having a kid, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'll be able to still hang out with you guys and do this." And I was like, No, no, no. I have a friend that like has kids that are older. Like
No,
your time as soon as work ends becomes their time. Like you
bro,
don't get this whole, all right, we get to hang out unless you're bringing the kid with you to the bar. Then
no,
that's not really
like
gonna happen.
no, you gotta pick and choose when you're gonna like what you're gonna do. And
Hmm.
for me, I have developed husband PTO that I can use on
That was not
throughout the year.
that.
So, I encourage my wife to go on vacations with her friends or have a girls' weekend or do that shit that like you need to do in life. Like you need to have fun.
Hmm.
You need to like go out and do it. So she does it. And she went to Mexico with her mom and sister
Mm,
over Mother's Day.
mm,
That was for 5 days. So your boy had the kids, which like my kids are like they're fine. Like they don't. It wasn't like I was dead at the end of the 5 days.
mm.
But like 5 days with 2 kids, school involved,
Yeah.
activities involved, trying to to do everything. We accomplished it. Or I accomplished it. The kids didn't help at all. I accomplished it. Keep the house clean. Feed everybody. Make sure everyone's good. Like do all that simple shit. That's a lot. So that was 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
That's like I got some PTO stacked up, and I only use my PTO during the season. So like I might do like a golf trip during the year during the summer with my boys. But like I know when to use it now. Like I
Yeah.
know when to use my PTO for being a husband. So I'm gonna use in
Mm-hmm.
the fall. I have six. Oh, by the way, your boys got 6 games, 6 Penn State games lined up this fall already.
Damn.
6. I got opening game against West Virginia. We're going as a family. Well, me and Brooke and some friends.
Mm-hmm.
Going to the Iowa game, which is a night game. UMass. We're taking the kids up for homecoming.
Oh wow.
Me and BJ are going to Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
Going to the Maryland game down this way, which you should come to that. And
Mm-hmm.
then we play Michigan mid-November up in State College. I'm going to that one too. And the boy booked a room for New Orleans for the
This
semifinals.
man did. He
Your
did
boy's
do
got a
that.
place to stay in Pasadena, and I got a room in Houston for the national title game. So your boy spent so far like a little over $1,000 on like those two, Houston and New Orleans. It's like 550 for like the nights for like 2 nights because I did it now and not when like the
That's
game is when Penn State
that
goes.
makes
It's
sense.
all
Yeah.
cancellation policies too. So like I can cancel within 48 hours of that day. So if the season goes how Penn State seasons usually go, I'll probably be canceling them early November. So regardless, I had those room booked.
Which is
So
good.
yeah, you boys. This is the first time I've ever done that, by the way. I don't like I don't
Me
I
neither.
just I'm preparing myself for the best.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, shouts at me for stacking up that husband PTO. If any dads are listening or husbands are listening, take that into consideration. Husband
Yeah.
PTO. Like it doesn't roll over, so you got to use it all in the year. But like, be smart about it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
know when to use that shit. Can't use it every weekend. You can't golf every weekend. Call your husband PTO. It's like when
No,
you
you
when you
can't.
use work PTO, it's the same concept. You gotta like be smart about it because you run out.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
you
It
can't
doesn't roll
run out.
over. You can't sell it for money.
No, you're not gonna. Your husband PTO does run out, so use it wisely. So
Yeah.
that's my advice for husbands and dads
So
and people
husbands,
like you. You have unlimited PTO. So
yeah. Yeah. My only thing is owing it to these Twitter spaces. Other than
sure,
that,
yeah, okay,
man, I'm gonna keep
okay,
pushing it down the road for a little bit. Until
yeah.
then, we out.
Peace.